knowledge of how to deal with the failures. So I thought about I need a structure with close cross validation terms. But first private policy is from I got help from my LLMs.
Okay. Structure first fallback policy with cross-validation hard-coded policy. Any query answerable by a structure API must attempt the structure source first. Web search triggers only structure. I like more the first one here.
Yes.
It looks fancy. This hard-coded is not that good. Hard-coded policy, I think. High-stake queries retrieved from two sources and compare prioritize the structures. Okay. Okay, good. So this is the first problem. Let's see the second one. Temporal mapping failure. Fiscal calendar misalignment. Yeah. The same label of what means different calendar periods depending on the company. La Lupa's benchmark. What is the Lupa?
It's kind of company that
Is
do,
this one?
yeah, just doing like financial modeling. It's also
Okay.
kind of tool.
Is it a
It,
paper?
I think it's not a paper, it's kind of AI agent thing. It
Uh,
it also provides a corporation tool with the LLM cloud. So I try to find more information related to using a Dalupa.
so actually, this La Lupa is an MCP, right?
Yes,
Using
yes.
MCP. Let me see the introduction of La Lupa. Powering the financial services agent ecosystem. Um, so you want to do something similar to what this company is doing, or is it different? What is the
Mm, my main goal is to reduce some errors. Like I want to, it can be regarded as a hard coding, but I want to give straight directions or orders to my prompt or like my services because of course our web service or like our output must also use the NNM, but I want to give a like for example clear prompt to generate some certain outputs. So I found the problem three problems related to prompt problems or common LLMs doing some errors. So I tried to do a hard coding thing related to generating prompts. So I think
all right? So this
that's
this
my main goal.
Dalupa thing provides. I mean, if we follow this route, this problem that you are presenting right now, they have some plans, so you can actually use some free plan to get
Yes.
some information, and then you can compare.
Mm-hmm.
Different with this one, so that is okay. It's good. Okay, let me keep seeing the Lupa's benchmark from accuracy December year ends reached 96%, but dropped to 65% for March year ends. Japan and Zero. This is not a mobile issue, but a metadata absence. Okay, compare something like that on Sony Q3 or something. Okay. It's a kind of metadata layer plus query rewriting and company mapping table thicker fiscal year start and month to the pipeline when the agent detects temporal expressions. It references this metadata to automatically rewrite the query with explicit calendar dates. Okay. Post-retrieval period validation, post-normalization. Cross-check the period. I think it should be the first one is better here because the first one
Yes.
you modify the query or the prompt to get the
Mm-hmm.
correct data according to the geographical location, I would say, or the country. But the second one you first retrieve and then you normalize. So maybe first one will be much better, or a combination of both. You modify the prompting and rewrite the query, and then after you do some normalization if needed. That
Yeah,
that's
it's and I think like we can use both ways because first solution is pre-scoring and second one is post-scoring. So I'm not
yeah.
sure, and I didn't do it, so we cannot define that which method has like higher accuracy. But I also agree with professor's opinion because maybe doing a pre-scoring will provide a higher accuracy. I think also solution can be a better solution too.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when you do these kind of studies, another good component or another good practice for your project will be to test both. You can try only
Yes.
with solution one, only with solution two, and combination of both, and then compare what is the performance. And I think most likely here the combination of both solutions might give you the best result. But yeah, okay, that is good. Good. Problem three, semantic precision failure, entity period metric confusion. Financial RAG systems retrieve semantically similar but factually wrong documents. Vector similarity cannot distinguish fine-grained financial differences. Bayesian RAG research show traditional RAG treats all retrievals as equally reliable and tracing uncertainty score reduce hallucination by 27%. Commercial RAG tools showed. Okay, okay. Samsung. Okay, okay. So there is some confusion when bringing the entities, the period of the metrics. So you are planning to, okay, use RAG. Mm, Solution one, structure metadata pre-filtering plus entity disambiguation. Before vector search, parse the query to extract three axes. Entity period and metric. Resolve entity ambiguity by mapping to unique identifiers. Filter the document index by this structure field first, then run vector similarity only with the filter subset. This eliminates entity period Bayesian uncertainty scoring plus apply Monte Carlo
I
to compute embedding variance for each retrieval result. Score size equal to mean minus lambda, penalizing uncertain retrievals. Okay. Additionally, deploy a lightweight validation agent that checks entity period metric alignment between query and retrieve passage before passing to the LLM. Mismatches trigger removal and retrieval. Combine these. Yeah, seems good. Okay.
yes, so like I tried to follow the steps. So first problem is where should I get the data?
Mm-hmm.
And second problem is
Uh-huh.
more and more like deep problem. So like which period kind of data I need. And in that period, problem three is what kind of exact data I need to get from different data sources. So I try to specify the exact data into steps that I can reduce the failures or increase the accuracy of my prompt generating solution.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Good. Discussion point. So, Songhyun, do you have something you wanna add?
And you're muted.
Turn on your microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry, feel really well prepared. I just want to add something a bit more. I will share my screen real quick.
Wait a second. Okay, then do it.
Sorry. Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Tell me.
Okay. I think basically Theo's idea is nice, and it's actually matched with what we actually pre-researched in last weeks, which is like there's performance measurement of this product terminal X. And actually, what Teho did is it's basically kind of exact problem of how to solve this kind of solution. And problem three is wait a minute. Problem three is I don't I need more search on problem two and problem one. But basically, as Teho said, it's kind of solving the problem in a different layer. And problem three, as we see, like it uses a reg system. So if we, I think I will just add my opinion a bit, and I will just tell real quick. Problem three is related with reg system that usually researchers focus on these days. So. And recently, also Google, I also did additional research on what Teho analyzed. So recently, Google published open source software lang exec for this kind of software I mentioned here. So I think if we choose problem three, we can choose sub problems next week, and we can deep dive to how to solve this problem. We can maybe start from next week, uh, outline of how to really develop the problem and how to really solve the problem. And problem two and one, I kind of understand like the problem, but I didn't understand like how researchers are solving the already problem one and two. I think like I kind of understand we should use MCP and so on, but I need a bit more study. I didn't have really specific like how should I solve this, but I basically understand problem one to three, how it is going to solve the issue, and uh, the problems that as Professor mentioned, we both kind of just bring the problem. But problem that I first uh, wrote before Teho got his idea, just my own idea was problem of uh, solving cross-sectional return prediction with LLM and AI agents. So basically, cross-sectional stock return prediction problem is uh, solving which stock will have a higher return in a rank, not a exact numerical numbers. And what I was going to do was LLMs and AI agents, like who are actually better, because these days LLM agents actually really performing well, such as Cloud Code or OpenClaw. So I want to actually compare LLM agents or LLM generated models. But after what Teho brought me, which is like query to data mapping failure, I think it is very special problem that LLM agent or LLM generated quantitative model, uh, they sometimes just check market and make an action, but they usually do rag to organize all the problems and I mean organize all the data sets, and from that they based on the data set they crawled via reg, they make a decision. So I think so like what Teho basically brought is I think kind of intersection between me and Tehu. That so I think for me, if I just give my own opinion, I think I need more research on one and two. And problem three, I kind of understand what problem this is. So yeah, now I kind of just explain my point of view, how I so what Tehu and I did for 1 week, and I want to listen professor's opinion, and I want to go forward to next steps.
Actually, I think if I understood correctly everything both of you said, what Tejo is talking about and that pipeline is kind of how can we retrieve the correct data when we want to, I mean, if we want to use that data for some extra purpose. I think Tejo say the the problems data source routing and where to get the data plus matching the calendar and the semantic precision from entity period metric. If you can implement all those three solutions to get the right data, then you can use this for doing something else, which is what you are proposing, Song. And I think that cross-sectional forecasting, can you show me a bit? Cross-sectional stock return prediction. Let me read again. Cross-sectional stock return prediction involves forecasting the relative performance of different stocks at a specific point in time, identifying which stocks will outperform or underperform others. Element and agents offer exciting new avenues for this complex task. So yeah, if you, I don't know exactly how to do the cross-sectional stock return, but I guess you train some kind of model using some data or using some equations as you want to do. But if Tejo's part can bring the correct data using all that kind of curated pipeline for financial purposes, then you can use that for your
Mhm.
cross-sectional. So I think you can combine both ideas that you have in some big framework, not big framework, but a complete framework, I will say. Get the right data and do something useful for that with that one, I think. That is
Mhm.
what I can understand from what you explained.
Yes.
Right, Prof.
Okay, good. Seems this is what you are telling me right now is much more concrete of what we discussed in the last weeks. But I'm glad that see that you are kind of narrowing down to some specific things that you would like to solve. Yeah. So let me see. You have some extra questions here. Do you want to check the questions that Tejo wrote in the document?
Like, I think some questions are like too deep.
Too deep philosophical
Like, for
question?
yeah, for example, like it can be like, I mean, it's like too deep to speak because I I have a real experience of implementing like real data. So, for example, question number 5 is like data availability, Korean financial data versus US data. Which market provides better experimental conditions is like, I think it's two deep questions to
I, don't,
ask
I
because,
have no idea. We have to do some research.
yeah, yes.
What data you are using now in this freelance project you told me? Is it Korean
Uh,
financial data?
nowadays, I've tried one from US, like Alphabet, but I found it more useful using Korea financial data right now. But I think like we should expand to worldwide scope for our service. I think we should find some point that we can fulfill to support both US and both Korean data. Because like when I use Korean financial market data, the form that I should like request or the response data that I retrieve is kind of, I think it was kind of different for world global data. So I think we should do research more. The reason that I said it is too deep is because I prepare these kind of questions to share with Songyan and Professor both. So like that we can prepare for the next meeting or yeah. So like uh I think question number 1 I think I can ask to a professor. That question was that I was curious about. Number 1.
Okay, let me start with the number 5.
Okay.
One of the problems that you want to solve is the mismatch on the not mismatch, but the difference in fiscal calendar, right?
Yes.
And if you want to implement that solution, you need data from different countries, right? If
Mhm.
you only use Korean data, then this doesn't help too much. So
Mhm.
at least you should, if you want to implement the, no, if you want to solve problem 2 or implement inside your pipeline, you need data from different countries that have different fiscal years. So yeah, you have to consider that. That will
Mhm.
be when you finally define the scope of your project. Then if you want to use only Korean data, then problem 2 can be, you can dismiss that problem and we focus on problem 1 and 2. But if you want to use 2 different countries or more than 2, then we include that problem 2 into the pipeline.
Yes.
For the first question, which of the 3 problems is most feasible? Mm, Actually, I think the 3 problems seems all feasible right now. We have to do more
Yes.
research, of course, and we have to do some prototyping and testing. But what I can say is maybe only one problem. It seems too few contribution, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So combining at least two problems plus the proposal of Songhyun, do something with
Yes,
that
yes.
data. I think that makes a very strong
Mm.
thing for your capstone. So, and if you do the full pipeline, the three solving those three problems, and then doing some cross sectional forecasting, like, then that would be good, I think.
Yes. So the reason that I asked prepare this question is because like I also thought that we can combine this problem together. I cannot say that it has very big similarities between problems, but I think at least there's a little bit of connections each other with the problems that I prepared. And when I implement the cross thing that Songyeon suggested, I think we can well combine real problems together to use all three problems as a research topic. I think that volume will be not that big if we will combine these problems together.
Yeah, you have two roles, I think. Yours will be the data engineering part, just bringing the right data, and Songhyun's will be use that data to build a reliable and robust model.
Mm.
I think that would be good. Let's see, question two. Problem one could be approached as a classification. Reinforcement learning problem, training a tool router, while problems two and three lean toward data engineering and retrieval system design. Yeah. Which direction aligns better with the research goals? What was problem two is let me see again. Problem one, data source
Financial year.
failure. Where to get the data? Reinforcement learning there? Why will you say it is reinforcement learning? Hmm.
I think I use this kind of term is because I have to like I use word force is because I have to like pre-party uh some options as we mentioned earlier. Like I have to tell the generator that I should predefine the queries to specify some certain financial year or certain entity in problem two and three. So I think I use this kind of term. And like similar with question number one, I thought that developing all of these three problems can be a big volume. So I asked these kind of questions that we might uh not develop like all three problems. So I was kind of worried about the volume, but I think question two
Mhm.
can be not can be a big deal. So I think we can stick to developing all three problems.
Okay, right now, with the information that we that we have that you presented, it seems feasible. Three problems, but of course, we are going to do a little deeper research and find different type of solutions and different type of implementations. And according to that, we can decide if maybe we get stuck in one problem, then we can reduce the scope a bit. So let's start thinking that we are going to solve three problems, but if we have or encounter some problems, then we might reduce the scope, just removing one problem. And I think that is no problem. So think about that you will handle the three problems right now, but with mm, wait, let me find the word, with the safety net, I would say, that we can remove one problem if we got stuck with some of them. Okay. Okay. Just problem one again. What I was asking you is why would you think that it is a reinforcement learning problem? The first one. This is problem two, but in your question you say problem one, which is the routing one, data source routing failure, right? Classification or RL means reinforcement learning, right? I guess.
Yeah, in my, I mean, shallow research, you can use RL to the routing problem, etc.
Okay. I don't know how, but yeah, okay. If you found that in some research, then it's possible. Well, prone to toward data engineering. Yeah, this is what I told you: data engineering and rack system design. So that will be, yeah, that is problem two and three. For problem two, is a static fiscal calendar metadata table sufficient, or would a dynamic lookup via MCP server be more robust? Here, I don't know. We will have to think more carefully. Just a static. It seems that just a mapping metadata table and then some conversion function maybe. I think it might be possible only with that. I don't know if there is you need a dynamic lookup or you can do some transformation and then just modify the query. Then it might be simple, but yeah, I think it might be possible. We have to check that. For problem three, how should we evaluate improvement? Possible metrics, entity period, metric precision, hallucination rate. Yeah, we have to do some more research about this, like how the I think there are some metrics for hallucination, and also we can construct some kind of test data in which we know what is the input data and we know which entities or which periods, which metrics we should get. Then we use your implementation and then we compare some kind of maybe misclassified, I will say, or error in entity, period, or metric. So we can use simple metrics like that. And for the hallucination, if I am not mistaken, there are some hallucination metrics. Let me check very quickly. Measuring, yeah, there we can find. We should do some research about this. What people are using for measure the rate of hallucination. So yeah, this paper is 2024. So yeah, I guess there should be more. We have to do some research about that. So right now, we cannot tell. Factualness evaluation via weighting LLMs. Okay, there are some ways in which we can measure the hallucination. So yeah, we will define that. Those are the questions that you asked me. Are my answers okay, or I cannot hear you? You are mute.
One and two. I think I got the answer from professor, and like for number three, four, and five, those are some questions that I prepared to share with Songyan for further research. So I think we can proceed to combine my problems and Songyan's methodologies to actually implement real pipelines to solve all these problems together.
Okay, so actually, Tejo's part, I understood clearly the three problems that you define. From Sohyun's part, you say the cross-sectional, what's the name? Cross-sectional, no, cross what? Cross-sectional stock return prediction. It's let me see. Just let me read very quickly because I don't know exactly what is the meaning of that. Mm. Capital asset pricing model. So yeah, in this case, I need to see a little bit more about that. Songhyun, if you can explain in the simple terms, what is that? And you should also think for doing this cross-sectional stock return prediction, what do you need? What is your input for that? And based on that input is the information that we are going to get from Tejo's pipeline. Okay. So yeah, I need to see more detail about that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh,
And yeah.
like 성현's, I think as far as I understood, 성현 I think used to use some terms that he learned in stochastic process course.
Mhm.
Like I also had a real experience related with 성현's suggestion is because I also had a problem when to call a Python code. What in what real time? As far as I understood 성현, right? Like like he want to make a real like normalization or to use this kind of decision making theory to when we should actually run the code or the kind of thing. So and also he want to use AI to AI to really do a sequential decision making really with AI for stock recommendations. So he suggested also like some bias theorem kind of things. So I think when we do more research related to problem 1 to 3, I think we can find the appropriate point or appropriate pace or steps that we can actually implement what Songyan found as a methodologies. Yeah, I think we can, after doing more research, we can find the perfect point to actually use Songyan solutions. I think I also had the same opinion with Songyan that we should more reinforce the decision making part, right, Songyan? Yeah.
I think if we add those parts, I think it would be more nice. But I think right in general, we can focus on these three parts. And why doing it? Because first problem, there's possibility to use reinforcement learning, so we can use stochastic process here. And I think what
Yes, yes.
Professor mentioned is right now my problem here. What I suggested is we are just checking like 1 month later stock whether stock A and B who will have higher return, and
Ah,
I need to just specify the input structure so we can actually use the data we will rack based on
yes.
the pipeline we made, and we need to put it in to calculate this. Then I need to specify the input. I think that's what
Uh-huh, yeah,
Professor.
yes, 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 yeah, right.
So wait, let me share something. I don't know exactly. So this, as you know, that wait, let me share. So I just asked ChatGPT now, what are different methods, models for cross-sectional stock return? This is what you want to do, right? So there are some, it says classical linear factor models, Fama French factor models. So you have some terms here: size, value, profitability, investment, Carhart. So according to all these type of models, what I want you to do is to think. There are also some other ones here that you use, some PCA, some machine learning models, tree-based models, neural networks. So you have different type of models here that you can use for doing what you want to do. So the interesting thing here will be No, not interesting. Your task, Sohyun, I think, to match together, you have to do it together, is read more about all these different type of ways in which you can do this cross-sectional stock return forecasting, and then maybe choose one, two, or yeah, let's say you choose three, and you have to know which what data do you need for as an input for those methods, and then Tejo will bring that data using the pipeline, and then you can get your output, right? This forecasting. And if possible, I don't know if this will be possible, but I think it's possible, and it will make your result also robust, is that you try more than one. You try two or three, and you can compare which one gives you better return, or which one is more accurate, which one gives better recommendations according to, yeah, to the model that you chose. So yeah, I think, for example, I don't know too much about this, but it says pharma French factor models, you need the size and the value. So this size and value is what you need for using this formula. Then you will create the specific prompts according to the questions, which company you are comparing, or yeah, all the necessary information, and bring this data so you can input into this formula, and provide some information and some interpretation to the result to the users of your app, I don't know, service that you develop. Do you understand? Okay,
Yes, Professor.
good. So, okay, let me write here. What are your next tasks? Do you have some questions? Something you want to say?
Right now, just if I share my opinion, a very simple opinion, then I think we can basically make a baseline model first while researching, because like Tejo has like one one problem with three different subsector. So we can make baseline first, because as far as I know, there's already product in the GitHub that we can easily find and make a model. I mean, it even itself is difficult, but we can, if we have a baseline model, and if we have time, we can dig into one sub problem each to solve problem, then we can upgrade the baseline so we can test and evaluate, and if we make better result, it is the best. And if we have more time, or if we have more ability, we can also touch these two subsectors together. So yeah, so what I'm thinking right now to until next week with Teho is we think of the baselines, and what baselines we are going to use, what open source model we are going to use, and also for each three subsectors, what are the sub problems we can really solve. That's what I'm going to do for next week.
Okay. Yeah, if there are open source tools that do this in some basic way or similar way, then it's good. Your idea is good. You use this as a baseline, and you then try to improve the result from that baseline. But okay, try to find a baseline, but I don't know if 1 week will be enough to find a baseline for all these different components. But yeah, you can do that. Okay, let me write down here in my notes what you have to do. Just information source, construct pipeline, and finally the cross-sectional stock return. Mm, mm. Okay, so what I want you to do is first find the different models that exist for cross-sectional stock return. That is one thing. The other one, I don't know if jumping into a baseline right now would be good. Let me think. We already defined the problems. You have some proposed solutions. So the problems that you identify right now have no solution, or are there some services or other papers that you found that try to solve that specific problem? Those specific problems?
uh, uh, if you have something, you can. Uh, I will say first, and you go next because you're probably already working on that area. You know some companies. As far as I know, this is not my sector, but RAG already there are a lot of open sources because it's LLM's core, the problem three part, and probably for the problem one and two, because right now as Terminal X that I showed last week, there are a lot of companies already want to build something or already built and published to the market. So probably they have built it and they have some errors they encountered. I don't know for one and two, but two also we mentioned some MCP. There's a lot of MCP open source here, so I don't know for one, but probably two and three, there are the open sources. Maybe it is not integrated, so we need to make effort to combine problem two and problem three corresponding parts open source. But as far as I know, we have open source corresponding to problem two and problem three, and maybe problem one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there is a. I heard from the owner of the company that I'm working right now, and he has a connection to the largest AI agent company in Korea. The company has like 5,000 customers actually using a AI agent service, but I heard that they use a Perplexity to generate the answers from doing a real talks, and they only have 70% of accuracy of their models. Like 70% of accuracy means not the rate for winning in a stock market, but the accuracy of generated answers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we should always be like sharp because there is already a lot of predefined and there's already a lot of leg services or MCP services or a lot of AI agents. But I think when we stick to these kind of problems and we implement it without well-defined free queries or things, I think we can have a strength or strong point developing our MCP pipelines. So yeah, I think we can develop in a good direction, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was not talking about the technology. I know there are a lot of MCP. Well, not a lot. MCP is this protocol, but there are some implementations based on this protocol, the same as the RAG, open source implementation. But I was thinking more in the specific ways of solving the problem. But I think right now it's not that important. Okay,
Mhm.
give me one second to think. I wanna. What do you think would be the next step, both of you, for this week?
For me, in my opinion, I think what implementing right now can be can be a not good option. For me, I want to do more research of comparing the how the current AI agents are dealing with the problems that I've suggested. Maybe there will be some tools or agents that already dealing with this kind of problems. So I want to check the problems and how they are dealing with these kind of problems. I want to do research more, and maybe I can try a little bit of how I can retrieve data from different data sources, so I can do both tasks in a same at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the same. Right now, you defined three problems. Um, do a bit more of research of what other people are doing about that. Um, Now you have the keywords. So you
Mhm.
define three specific problems, so you can use those keywords to search on Google Scholar or on the web. And there might be some open source tools that you can check and use as a baseline, as Songhyun said.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that would be, let me just write it down here. So here, for example, in problem one,
Hmm.
let's go problem by problem. Problem one, you say that is agents systematically choose the wrong data source. So what data source do you have? That would be the first one of the things that you have to define. What data sources do you have? And
Mm.
web search over specialized tools, even we correct. So web search over specialized tools. So what are these specialized tools that you have? Of course, they are implemented using MCP, right? Because they connect with different tools for interact with the agent or with the large language model. But what tools are they using? I guess you wrote down here Redis, something like that. I remember I read about here.
Ah, yes, yes.
Where do you read that? I missed. Real time plus numeric plus exact always routes the time series API.
At the second page, core question: where to retrieve Redis DB API web?
Ah, second page.
Yes, in the overview section, the core problem.
Yeah. Redis DB API. Yeah, these you have these different sources. Mhm. And I guess you use a different tool for access each of these. One for access the DB, one for access a vector DB, one for access an API or web. Okay,
Yes,
so define those sources and the tools that you need for that. What sources do you
yes.
have? And what tools are you going to use? But you also have that in problem one, some kind of uh, lightweight classifier. What do you mean with that? What will be the input of that classifier and what will be the output?
Like, for example, there will be a time that I should use DB or API. I think I want to classify the questions, and when I classify the questions it means that there will be a question that needs API, and will be a question that require DB. So I want to predefine and classify the questions that when I when the user or customer asks a question, then I want to direct the kind of question, you should use DB or API. I want to like classify the kind of questions.
Okay, so this classifier will be built maybe with some rules that you would define by yourself, or you would train a machine learning classifier for this. Mm.
In my first thought, I think I don't need to machine learning thing right now, but I might need a machine learning at that kind of stage. Now I'm just thinking of predefining by myself, and I want
Yeah.
to see the accuracy or how it is going on. And I think I can decide after I use it, and I got the results of my own predefined classifier.
Okay, think about this. This is part of the first problem. What data source do you have and what tools are you going to use? Then think about this lightweight classifier. If it will made with your own rules, so you create some handmade rules like if this term or this phrase is contained in the question, then it means I have to use this data source or this other data source.
Mm,
That would be the handmade or yeah, how can I say, yeah, handmade rules. But The other option is to do an automated classifier using machine learning, but for this you need data, of course. The data
Yes, yes.
for training the classifier, and you don't have the data.
Mm,
So yeah, but think about that. But I think handmade will be better. And then once you have that, then you just need to redirect to different tools and get the data. Okay, that will be for the first problem. The second one, I think the question that you asked, that maybe just a metadata table that just give you some reference that this country or this geographical region has this specific fiscal period, and this other one
yes.
has this one. So you just match those ones in some way with some
Mm-hmm.
offset. So I think that just think about a bit more about that solution, but I think that might be the simplest one, and it might be
Mm-hmm.
effective. Mhm. Think more carefully about the like kind of mapping table or metadata, like you say. I think that will be enough. For problem 3, what was problem 3? Semantic precision. Ah, yeah, I have to think a bit more about this. Just think. Ah, okay. Bayesian rack. What is Bayesian rack?
I think there was a like occasions
Wow, and it's
like
actually introducing the financial questions. This is exactly what you put here. SI equal to use of one. Okay, the balance semantic relevance. Yeah, that Bayesian rack seems okay. I have to read more about this. All right. I think read a bit more about Bayesian rack.
mhm.
I found the paper here. I don't know if you have it. So let me just post it here. Maybe you. Okay. Mhm. Oh yeah, this is the paper, right? Yeah, the one you post here. The Nugartera, it'll. Okay. So yeah, those I think those will be your tasks for next week. So here needs find
Mm,
different models that exist for cross validation, and those different you have to define the input that you need. Okay, and then you discuss with Tejo and see which of those you are going to use. And then for problem 1 and problem 2, the things that I ask you. Problem 3, just read more about rack, Bayesian rack. Okay, so you don't have to. You can start with the things that I ask you, but if you don't have enough time, then you just present me your progress. Okay, you don't have to finish all in 1 week. Right? Okay,
mhm.
don't stress yourself that much. We have a lot of time. Yeah, we still have a lot of time. Okay, understand? Understood?
Yes, yes.
Questions, comments before going to your but this week you have holiday, so do you still want to work this week?
Yeah, like my relatives live very close.
Okay, good.
I don't
Okay.
have yeah much to do with family thing, and I think we can work. Professor, can you like upload or send the points that we have to prepare? I think you